Okay, I got good news. There's a simple model that could explain how the first cell came into being. Check this out. How did a bunch of lifeless molecules transform themselves into living cells, turning the ancient, dead Earth into a planet teeming with life? It's an incredibly difficult question to answer, but a new model might explain part of the story. Check this out. Research believed that the molecule copies itself, and its copies slowly drift apart, providing lots of space for other molecules. These then form a cloud of reproducing molecules around the original slow replicating molecule. Between these clouds, space opens up in a solution, segregating the different units and providing a natural mechanism for protocells to emerge. This is the first time we even have a possible working explanation for how Earth's first tentative steps toward life might have happened. From these humble origins, protocells could eventually turn into more complicated structures and life could begin. It's a long and winding road from there to DNA and RNA, let alone for modern life. But we've maybe identified one of the first crucial steps. Holy cow. Like I said, man, we might be able to solve the whole mystery. I mean, just imagine years from now. This is amazing stuff. We've just found out, man, how the first living cell. They think the first living cell was a supercell. A supercell. And the supercell split into other cells. So the first cell was a supercell. It like ate the smaller cells. For some reason, it seems like everything wants to eat each other. I just don't know. I don't understand why. You know, it's kind of funny. Like I said, you know, black holes consuming other black holes, white holes consuming other white holes, baby universes consuming other universes. And it's like everything wants to eat each other. The cells eating other cells. It's crazy. It's and when you look at it at that perspective, you say to yourself, this is some alien shit, you know. This is some freaky alien shit, you know. This is some freaky alien shit. um, you know, like I said, you know, the cells when you look under the microscope, they just divide. You know, they just fucking divide. And believe it or not, how everything started from the beginning was bacteria. So even everything started with bacteria for some reason, you know. It's called like a cyanobacteria. And then it went to the other bacteria. It's like everything is dirty, you know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You know, something like E. coli bacteria, you know, which may seem so like so easy, but it's like has so many complex structures, you know. It's some freaky shit, man. Maybe the aliens got sick, you know, and then they put onto the planet the bacteria. You know what I mean? Maybe they got fucking sick or something. I don't know. It's just some freaky shit. um. So yeah. So the first cell was a supercell. A supercell. And check this out. And we know non-life can create from right life under the right circumstances. Just apply electricity and you got life. You know. So think about it. You know. You know, the Big Bang, all that heat obviously came some kind of form of electricity, whether it was alien electricity or who the fuck knows. But we know light, you know, can create electricity. Just imagine the gases and elements with light combine electricity, and therefore, you know, then you have life, and then the supercell, the first living cell, the supercell, it came into being, and then it fight with each other, and it split into other cells. So this little supercell you know, after after a while, decided it had to go its own way. The supercell split into the other one cell, and then that cell split into other cells. It's like I said, if you think about it, everything just fighting for survival. Animals fighting for survival. Animals camouflage itself for survival. Animals turn different colors for survival. The cell decided to split into other cells for for survival. It's like the cell had its own brain before it developed brains. So this points out to something freaky, freaky, freaky out there. It's definitely something fucking extraterrestrial, something really freaky. Um, because how did you think just do that stuff? Um, it seems like they had like some kind of these aliens gave these cells a brain, and the brain, and then they evolved the bigger brains, and then we are the cells, and then we but check this out. Every living thing came from one thing. So plants, animals, and us came from one cell. And I think that's why the supercell split into the other cells. The other cells for plants, for animals, and then humans. And they went their own way. And I think that's why the supercell probably split. Because, you know, it's probably, the supercell was probably 3 cells. And then there was plant, animals, humans. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying, obviously, aliens had sex with us, reproduced us, and made us. That's a pretty far stretch. I don't think that, because if they did, we probably wouldn't even look like what we look like, let alone what aliens look like. But I think these extraterrestrials had some kind of influence on the cells, you know. And think about it. If that's the case, this means these extraterrestrials have some super high advanced knowledge, things that they can maybe create, you know, whether they created the cell. I mean, think these aliens have something so advanced that we can't even comprehend to understand. That's where the mystery really is fun and to learn. You know, the unknown of unknown. You know, who knows if these aliens just decided to create this ourselves? We just don't know the mystery. It's just so many freaky stuff out there. You know, how existence started, let alone how, yeah, just how existence started, how it all started. You know, or even more bizarre and freaky. Maybe the aliens had nothing to do with it. Maybe it was just, I don't know. But to point out, you know, our brains are so small compared to, like, just imagine if there's a species out there with telekinesis, telepathy, just all kinds of crazy powers that you think out of a superhero comic book. We just don't even fucking know. But just imagine if there was no aliens involved. How even more bizarre would that be? You know, when you put the aliens, it makes it more easy to understand. But just imagine if there was no aliens. Maybe if this, I don't know, just maybe there's some kind of fucking force that just created shit. You know, but then and then we have to examine that force, and you know, if the universe is truly infinite. Just think about it, man. We would have to just keep on examining things, and before Big Bang, before multiple Big Bangs, it just can go on and on and on forever. And that's why, you know, people think, you know, scientists, it might never be explained because there's so much out there. But you just don't know, man. Maybe we can explain. Maybe there's multiple existences. You know, maybe we're just one existence. Maybe there was like different existences before us. You know. So in other words, you know, universe, multiverse, and then other universes, other multiverses, and we just I mean, it could just go on and on. Maybe we're like just one existence out of other existences. You know what I'm saying? And then it, it's crazy stuff. And that's why people, they're gonna put, oh, there had to be a God for the first thing, but it even makes it more complicated. Why have multiple gods? Why have one God? Um, so throwing God out of the picture, if this is all so complex, and you put a God in the picture, it's even more fucking complex. And where the hell did it come from? It makes it even more freaky. So there's no gods. It's either, well, perhaps extraterrestrials, or perhaps we're just one existence of many different existences. How things evolved. So, like I said, we're just one, maybe just one Big Bang out of 5 or 6 Big Bangs of existences. you know, but the supercell kind of explains it. Supercell, it divided. So yeah, the first cell was a supercell. Um, and this, and like I said, non-life can become from life. You have the right conditions, life will emerge, and you have apply electricity. Boom, you have life. So this means that supercell had life with that electricity. It split into 3 other cells: humans, animals, and plants. And then that evolved, where they kept on splitting, and it just evolved to evolve. Whether extraterrestrials gave it powers to evolve to have brains and arms and limbs or whatever, or not, it just evolved, and over a billion of years, you just can't even comprehend to imagine how many transformations it went through. A lot of transformations from a billion years. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, plants, animals, they went through probably a lot of different transitions, and I'm thinking humans probably the most transitions, because we're actually the most complex. So just imagine how many transitions the humans went through. Um, and if you take it in that sense, it makes sense that if the cells went into the water and evolved for billions of years, we the first pre pre-human was a fish, and then the fish evolved and developed. This is where the extraterrestrial powers had to be, and they developed, and we got arms and limbs, and then we came from the water, and then to the land, and then we just evolved to what we are today. But this transition was on a macroevolution scale, a billion-year scale. We just can't even fucking comprehend that. I mean, that's some amazing, amazing shit. Of course, and of course, microevolution is a smaller scale, which is easier to understand. Um, but the macroevolution is the granddaddy of the evolution. That's like that's the shit when the first stuff started to hit the fan, when the first cell became us. That's a macroevolution process right there, man. As all this is freaky it sounds, it makes more sense because it's more complex, and science is complex, than just an internal God just creating shit out of the blue, which makes it super easy to understand. But of course, science doesn't even work that way. So that's why I think Laura Krauss said it. It's the mystery, the unknown of the universe, or Richard Dawkins said it. It's more exciting than ever than just some eternal creator just creating everything. It's a much more complicated process, and it's a much more exciting process how you learn how it all came to be. No question about that. It's very interesting. So that's my theory. Part my theory, and actually part theory of science, of the supercell. And I think that's what I'm going to say. Now, if I explained how all existence could have been and it made sense to people, well, damn, I guess I did a fine job. If you think about it, you really have to use your brain. You have to really, really think about this stuff, man. Not only that, you learn what you read from science, how non-life can become life, under the right conditions when you have electricity, and then you see how that can evolve